What's up, guys? Hi and welcome to today's upper body workout. Now, today was really interesting. I was warming up and I really didn't know, should I max out on the neutral grip pull up or the chin up? And my wrist wasn't feeling super good, but after I had gotten warmed up, I did manage to get into a proper bottom position. So I tested my max, as you can see here. 50 kilos is my lifetime best. I couldn't quite get it all the way up. I do believe I'm strongest I've ever been in terms of absolute weight. However, relatively speaking, I can't really lift quite as much. I'm a few kilos heavier than the last time I did this. This morning I weighed in at 84.9, and the last time I did pull-ups to this level I was 79 kilos. So, but as you can see here, I managed to get 45, so that is what I'll be working on from now on. So next time I'm going to do a weighted chin up, I'm going to go for 50 kilos. And this is me weighing myself afterwards. Obviously I've eaten and have clothes on, but 133.9 is always a good thing to know that if I weighed 130 kilos, I'd still be able to do a chin up, which kind of feels cool. Moving on, bench press. So what I'm really working on here, as you guys know, is explosive fucking power. My goal is to get this up to 100 kilos for 3 sets of 10. It sounds retarded, but to add, 37.5 kilos to my bench max, I need to add 30 kilos to my rep work. So that's the goal. It's going to take me the entirety of this year, a lot of bulking, a lot of training hard. Right now, I'm doing 3 sets of 9, and I'm working it towards 3 sets of 10, 1 rep at a time. I'm adding 1 rep per workout on one of my sets. I hit the safeties there, by the way, which isn't good. Tricep weakness. Then, after this, after getting 3 sets of 10, I'm going to do 72.5 and work on, 3 sets of 8, work that up to 3 sets of 10, and so on. So it's a staggered progression method, and that's what I'll be using all the way to the top. And I do believe this is quite a good method, since when you get down to 8 reps, you're using, a slightly heavier weight, but you're doing less reps, meaning you can really work on form and speed. And staggering it that way doesn't mean that you have to go as hard as humanly possible on every single set all the time, which that is just psychologically very challenging, and it's probably not the best for the body either. Moving on here, pull-ups. I just had one more thing to say on the bench while I was at it. My short-term goal is 77.5, since at that point I'll be able to bench 110 kilos. Now onto the pull-ups. I did 3 sets of 10 today with 3.75 kilos, and after the chin-up and, waking up a bit heavier than usual, having a bit of lat soreness for whatever reason, and, adding a bit of weight, all accumulated and piled on top of each other, making these a bit more challenging than usual, although I don't really see that as an issue. I mean, these sets can be hard. It's not an issue. It's not a problem. My goal here, short term, is to get these to, at least probably 7.5. I'd really like to hit 10 kilos before I can't go any further on this one, because if I can do 10 kilos added weight for 3 sets of 10, I mean, that is tremendous, because that really means I can do 3 sets of 10 if I were to gain 10 more kilos. That's a very good thing. While bulking, a lot of people lose pull-up strength, and apparently I've lost a slight bit as well, relatively speaking. So I'm really going to be working on these now, every single workout, and as well as the bicep curls, just to really just force my strength back in there, and make sure that I have a good level of relative strength while I'm getting heavy as well. That will really pay off once I cut. Moving on here, overhead press. Still doing 47.5 for 3 sets of 9. These were also very challenging today, not absolutely maximal, but the first 2 sets were very hard. I believe that my positioning was a bit wrong. I was pressing the bar too far out from my center of gravity, and it was really hurting me. So basically the last 4 or 5 reps on every single set, I couldn't really get into that proper groove. So as you can see here, on the second and the third set, I was really trying to get my head under the bar, but as I get fatigued, for some reason the bar drifts outward, and that really challenges the upper traps and the delts a lot. So it's not something I want to repeat by next workout. Goal here, short term, is to get to 50 kilos for 3 sets of 10. I'm well on my way, but these, overhead pressing is very challenging. Another thing I did today was I made little graphs in a notebook of where am I, where's my strength, how has it progressed from the beginning of the year, and am I on track? And guys, I'm not on track on a single lift. I'm falling behind, and it hasn't even been 11 weeks of this year so far. My body weight is also slightly behind where it should be. So I'm going to take my training and my diet and everything else even more seriously than I have been, and really just try to find how can I get the most progress out of this as possible. Obviously without destroying myself, because peaking is one thing, just training very hard for a few weeks, taking a few days off, and then going for a max. That's not what I want to do. I want to raise my ceiling a lot. So, this is a whole year's project. And the goal is really just work on getting heavier and heavier weights for higher and higher reps, slowly but surely, being very consistent, not missing workouts at all, getting my work in, making sure to get more on top of my sleeping habits as well. This evening I'm going to go to bed 5 hours earlier than yesterday, so I'm going to go to bed at 11 instead of at 4 a.m. Working on turning back the clock, taking this seriously. Continuing to make sure that I get my 4,000 calories per day. It is challenging, it is difficult. That's one of the reasons I've been awake so long, is I'm so full I don't want to eat, my mouth is dry and it's really hard to swallow, and I have more than 1,000 calories left to go in the evening. It's a typical situation. And then you wake up very full and you don't want to eat then either. So I am complaining, but really the fault is mine. I'm going to continue to eat those 4,000 calories because I know that in a few days it will start to pay off. And not only my temporary weight will be higher, but my average weight will be higher as well. More of that bloat, which now is just extra weight. Slowly but surely, when you eat in a surplus, more of that is going to be muscle gain. So I'm going to continue to stimulate as much muscle gain as I can in these workouts without destroying my body, and also work on my cardio as well so that I don't lose that while bulking. Rather, I want to get better cardio. So this is going to be a very intense year of training. It's going to be very hard, very tedious, but I'm going to take it seriously, take it one day at a time, 1 week at a time, document all of this for you guys, and I do believe that this is going to be the best year I've ever had in terms of training progress. So I'm going to take this very fucking seriously, and it all starts now. Obviously I've been going for a while, but today I kind of reevaluated exactly where I am, how I progressed so far, and I realized I do need to put in more work than I have. And it's not just about going through the motions and putting in a total amount of workload, rather taking the sleep and the diet very seriously, putting effort in the training as well. So here, for example, I'm really focusing on keeping the form as good as possible, extending all the way down at the bottom, which strengthens the bicep tendon through the maximum amount of range of motion, which really will help me in the future, since next year my plan is to do a one-arm chin-up, which, by the way, I do believe I will achieve. One-arm chin-up 2024, absolutely, it will happen. As you can see here, the bicep is obviously getting massively stimulated. Although this is very lightweight, I must admit, the goal here is really to build to 25 reps. And as you can see here, the pump was phenomenal. And the midsection as well. I haven't really started gaining a lot of fat around that area. It's mainly been my quote-unquote love handles, which I do have some, and also some fat on my bum, actually. A lot of people store fat in different places. I actually store a lot of my fat in my lower back and in my glutes. which I do believe my distribution is quite nice. But another place I do store a bit of fat is my chest, so that's not the best place for a guy to store fat, but it is where it is. I just got to build much bigger pecs so it won't be as visible when I get a higher body fat percentage. Also, I'm working on the forearms. I'll increase the reps here shortly. Today I actually did 21 reps on these. If I have to change that title. Just said 20 reps here. Hopefully I don't forget it. Anyway, 21 proper reps of these wrist curls. I'm supersetting them after doing the wrist extensions. So I'm pumping the forearms with extra much blood. Obviously it will be more optimal to rest between the sets so I can go even closer to absolute failure. But, you know, I'd rather do it this way. I don't really like marathon workouts, so if I can cut a small corner to get it done a bit quicker, probably will do it. As you can see here, forearms they probably haven't grown much yet, but they do feel nice and juicy and tight and thick. So I'm going to really work on those this entire year and really just try and pack on as many solid grams of muscle there as possible on a daily basis, just so that by the end of the year my forearms will have thickened up considerably. And it's really the same thing with the neck work here. I'm taking this seriously as well. Now, it's not a lot of sets. I'm only doing 2 sets of neck curls and 2 sets of neck extensions per week right now. But since I've never really trained neck seriously before, this is where I'm starting off. If I think I can make more progress by adding a lot more volume, I will. But right now, that is what I'm doing. The goal is to consistently stimulate this with progressive overload. Not go super crazy, but I am going close to failure on both sets, or to failure. You know, kind of depending on how you define it. Since I'm adding reps, I will actually be hitting failure very soon. Goal here is to build this up to probably 25 to 30 reps. After that, I will increase the weight. I'll do a 10 kilo plate instead of the 5. So I'll build it to 30 reps or something like that. After that, I'll increase it. It's difficult to do several plates on that exercise. Thank you guys for watching. As you've noticed, these workouts are pretty much the same thing every day. But if I can continue to do this for the right amount of days, the PRs will come. So hope you guys are entertained anyway. And I'll see you guys, since it's a Friday, probably see you guys on Sunday on my run. Goodbye.